You're unhappy because you haven't grown up. Almost all dissatisfied people share this personality trait. Of all our cognitive biases, one of the most persistent might be that we think of happiness as an inside job and unhappiness as an outside one. We generally recognize that we need to create or at least contribute to our own happiness. We must book the trip, leave the job, find a soulmate, but often fail to realize that the deepest and most pervasive causes of unhappiness are not external events that occur by chance. Unhappiness is the result of a combination of behaviors, traits, thought patterns, and adaptations. We imagine that it is merely the result of external events, which is why we fear losing control. However, in practice, we know this isn't true. Some people are happy while having little reason to be, and others are deeply unhappy despite having everything in the world going for them. It's not about what's around us but what's within us, and almost all unhappy people have one specific personality trait within them. When we're young, if we are fortunate, a parent or caretaker meets our most fundamental needs. Someone ties our shoes and helps us brush our teeth, complete our homework, and get a meal on the table. This is, fundamentally, what children need to survive and thrive. Over time, an effective parent will essentially mentor the child into being able to complete tasks on their own. As the child grows, they will learn to groom themselves, feed themselves, and take care of their own space. They'll learn to conduct their own relationships, do their assignments on time or not, show up for practice or not, and be a decent person or not. Then, of course, they will live out the consequences of those choices. However, if a child is never given the opportunity to see themselves as fully autonomous, not only responsible for their own choices but capable of generating their own fulfillment or dissatisfaction, the child becomes a stuck adult. This is typically the result of an unhealthy attachment to their parent as fostered by a parent who relies on the child for a sense of self. When we are kids, we cry for our parents to fix our problems. As adults, we can only turn to ourselves. Underscore 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 on. All unhappy people share a single personality trait: immaturity. It's at the root of every habit and behavior that ultimately leads us to be dissatisfied with our lives. When we do not take responsibility for our words and actions, we fire them off at random and end up severing relationships and hurting people. This is immaturity. When we do not take care of our physical bodies or homes because we don't feel like doing the dishes or working out, they inevitably fall into disarray. This is immaturity. When someone wrongs us, we project our rejection onto them and become bitter. Our petty and passive-aggressive statements not only keep us stuck but make us appear as though we are far more hurt than we might be in reality. This is immaturity. When we aren't happy with the trajectory of our lives but choose instead to complain about them like helpless children rather than strategizing like empowered adults, we remain unhappy. This is immaturity. When we grow and mature properly, we start taking responsibility for our appearance, our homes, our jobs, and ultimately our outcomes. When we mature, we are able to prioritize long-term outcomes over short-term desires. Over time, we come to find that we source some of our greatest joy from doing so. We find true peace in coming home to a space we love. We show up brighter and more willing to connect when we put ourselves together in a way we like. We reap the benefits of hard work like exercise and committing to a certain career path. When we mature, we are able to prioritize long-term outcomes over short-term desires. Immature individuals are not. Be very clear, it is not immature to be clinically depressed. That diagnosis is different than general unhappiness. They are two different entities and experiences with different causes and treatments. The root of unhappiness is an unwillingness to take responsibility for one's life. However, they do often feed into one another, given that self-responsibility is generally the course one takes to correct their lives and heal themselves. Immaturity might be a personality trait, but it's still a malleable one. It's something we can work on and something we can fix. Half of the world walks around as though they are still children, as though someone else is responsible for fixing their problems, as though if they cry loudly enough an adult will eventually respond. The rest walk around realizing that they are adults and with time, space, and maturity, they will have the power and resources to fix the problems they face. Or, at a minimum, they'll be able to strategize a solution and get to work on changing course. The root of unhappiness is an unwillingness to take responsibility for one's life. It is remaining in a perpetual childlike state and wondering why the world doesn't respond.